pitches into the 7th, 8th inning, and it fell apart quickly, and they didn't get him out of there fast enough. All of a sudden, you have a guy whose ERA is 4.72 or whatever it was. Once again, I'll correct myself with editing. That's it made him look worse than he was. I'm confident he'll do well this year. Edwin Jackson, complete wild card. Anybody that knows me knows I wasn't in favor of the trade at the time it happened. Right now, though, it's done, and I don't necessarily think Jackson is a bad player, but he has been a bad player his whole career so far. He was a big-time prospect with the Dodgers. Every scouting report I've heard says, oh, this guy has electric stuff. It's electric. Just you wait and see when he puts it together. He's going to be 26 or 27 this year. He needs to put it together and put it together now if he's going to be an asset for the Tigers. If he just does what he did last year with Tampa Bay, that's effective. I suppose if the rest of the Tigers' rotation pitches well, that will suffice. But I think in order for the Tigers to do well this year, they're going to need more from Edwin Jackson than what he gave to Tampa Bay last year. They're going to need him to be good. Not great, but good. Better than he's been in his entire career. He has not exhibited that he can do that to this point. But I'm going to trust Dave Dombrowski and trust the scouts who for years have been saying this guy is going to put it together. Because if he does, it'll be a great pickup for the Tigers, and he'll be a big asset. But we need to see it happen, period. Armando Galarraga, I'm not confident he'll be as good last year as or as good this year as he was last year. Every time I've seen him this spring, he's looked good. I'm someone who doesn't believe at all in spring statistics or really even performance. There are too many variables going on. Too many players are working on too many things. The games don't count for a reason. So I am a little bit skeptical when I read about how well he's done. But he did play well in the World Baseball Classic. Those games were high-level competition. So, I mean, those are positive things. You can't discount positive things. But if you look at his peripheral numbers last year, it looks like he got a tad lucky, a lot lucky. And I'm not confident he can repeat that. Do I think he's going to be bad this year? No. But I think he's going to be more average than good. And so the Tigers are going to need other people to pick up the slack. Now, is it possible he can be good again? Yeah. And, you know, the fact that he pitches for ground balls could mean that he's the type of guy who has peripheral numbers that will make him seem lucky when really he's just that good. With only 1 year in the major leagues under his belt, it's hard to tell. I'm not inclined to think this guy's the next coming of Greg Maddux, so at this point I'm prepared for a step back from him. From what I understand, it's been really hard for me to find information over the last week on exactly what the Tigers plan on doing, with them releasing Gary Sheffield, trading for Josh Anderson, adding Porcello and Perry to the 25-man roster, sending Bonderman to the DL. They made a slew of moves in the last week that have changed the dynamic of the team, and it's been hard for me to gather information on what exactly they plan on doing with a lot of their pieces with these moves. From what I understand, Zach Miner is going to start the season in the rotation. And in that case, obviously he'll probably, unless he's all-world, be the first guy kicked out of the rotation when Jeremy Bonderman comes back. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm cool with that. I like him being on the team. He's a versatile guy. He can start, do long relief, pitch in relief. He's not great. He's good. Guys like him are what championship teams need when he's pitching well. I'm confident he can pitch well. I like Miner. No problems. He's good. Rick Porcello. I know everybody in Tiger World is excited about him. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about all new players. Not very excited that he made the 25-man roster out of the spring. This guy dominated in the Florida State League last year at age 19, 2.66 ERA. It's outstanding. I think that he's a guy who is somebody who's legitimate to be excited about. I know they had injuries. I know Nate Robertson didn't do exactly what they wanted this year in the spring, and that he was poor last year. But I'm really skeptical about starting a guy off from the major leagues who last year wasn't even really allowed to pitch his full arsenal. The Tigers really limited the pitches he could throw in the Florida State League last year. That does make me excited, the fact that he put up a 2.66 ERA at age 19 in the Florida State League when he wasn't even unleashed fully. But at the same time, I'd like to see him work on adopting all of his pitches in the minors before bringing him up to the major leagues. Also, it's pretty rare that you get a guy who hits the major leagues all cylinders running. Even Hall of Fame talents, their first year, sometimes they struggle. Not everyone is Tim Lincecum. So I caution people to expect too much too soon from this guy. He's 20 years old. He's going to have his struggles. And he hasn't pitched a professional season where he's been allowed to throw all of his pitches yet. The Tigers are hopefully going to be strict on him with pitch counts and innings. So let's not expect too much out of this guy. I'm not. And as such, I don't know if he's going to spend the full year in the rotation. I don't know what the Tigers' plans are when Bonderman comes back. But for now, league average at best is what I'm expecting. And if he does anything better than that, great. Which brings us to Bonderman. It's disappointing that he couldn't start the year off. I understand he's hurt, and I'm happy the Tigers are not going to rush him. I think they've had a problem with that consistently over the last few years, rushing guys back. I'm glad they're not going to rush him. Please take your time so that when he comes back, he can come back healthy. However, regardless of the reasons, no matter what, the bottom line is he's not starting the year in the rotation. He's starting on the DL. It's going to take him a while to pick up, to get back to speed. And the fact of the matter is, if the Tigers don't have healthy Jeremy Bonderman starting and giving them healthy Jeremy Bonderman innings as soon as possible, this season is done. That's my opinion. I think they need a healthy Jeremy Bonderman. I personally believe he's the best pitcher they have when he's healthy, more so than Justin Verlander. He gives them the most innings, the most consistency. He's a better strikeout pitcher, even though he doesn't have the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Frankly, Verlander hasn't since 2006, early 2007 himself. When Bonderman is on, he is their best pitcher, I believe. And even when he's not on, when he's healthy, he's consistently their best performer, their best chance to get a quality start. If they don't have him healthy, forget about playoffs. Bottom line, so they need him back fast. Looking at the bullpen, I was surprised to see Eddie Bonine made the team. I imagine whenever Bonderman comes back, they'll probably push Minor out of the rotation and Bonine out of the major leagues. I see Bonine as a 4A guy. I don't see very many teams that don't have a lot of 4A guys. I don't have a reservation with Bonine being on the roster right now, breaking camp with the team. He's the last guy in the bullpen. Nobody has an all-star bullpen. If he's put in the right situations, he won't hurt the team, period. I like to see Juan Rincon. I've spent a long time being against Nate Robertson. I was against them giving him the extension. I didn't really like him as a starter, but now I find myself defending him more often than not. I don't think he was as bad as last year indicated. I've seen people put up charts that have indicated that he wasn't all that dissimilar to Galarraga, the difference being that